There is no one-size-fits-all strategy for hunting the early days of the rut. When you know where a buck is living, it pays to be aggressive. The clock is ticking. The first hot doe is likely to pull him away. Missouri bow hunter Jacob Dye knows where his number one buck is living and makes the decision to step out of character and push the issue early.
It's about 4:50 p.m. We've been set up for probably 20 minutes or so now. We just saw a doe and a little fawn move through the timber back here behind us. It's a really pleasant evening. It's about 45 degrees and a good, I don't know, probably 10, 12 mile an hour wind out of the northwest. So it's pretty pleasant. There's no reason the deer shouldn't move this evening. Tonight we're in our North Rut Ridge stand. We generally don't hunt this stand this early, but we thought we'd mix it up and try it this evening. This ridge is where we think Shady is probably spending a lot of his time. We haven't seen him from the tree stand this year, but David saw him crossing the road with some does the other evening, so we know he's in here. We just gotta connect the dots and catch up with him. And if not him, another mature cruising buck will work. This spot is known to produce that, so should be a good evening. We're gonna stick it out and see what happens.
Meh.
Oh, that got hectic real quick. Evening was winding down. Had a couple does working back from back here, so like I said, we just sat on the other side of the ridge this morning and had 10 or 12 does, so we know we got an abundance of does. So we thought we'd go ahead and take one. I just shot that doe, and we're waiting because there's another doe right here, and out of nowhere comes this other buck. I couldn't tell what he was for sure. I'm not sure if it was Shady or not. It looked kind of like him, but I don't think he had all the characteristics. Looked like a good, at least a 4-year-old solid 8-pointer. Just hung my bow back up and didn't even have another arrow knocked. There's the doe. Shot right there. There he is. Down in the bottom of the creek. Nice, old, mature Missouri whitetail right there. Well, here he is. Obviously the next morning we got him drug up out of the creek and cleaned up here a bit. I didn't realize it after the shot. It happened so quick and frantic. This is Shady. This is the deer we've been after this year. We knew he was in here. We just hadn't had any encounters with him. In fact, we hadn't seen him on the hoof. We didn't see him at all last year. We had an encounter with him in 2015. And he just stayed across the ditch with the doe grunting. And you know, hindsight, it's a good thing as a 3-year-old that he didn't come in. We didn't get a shot because we never would have had this opportunity. Excited to have this deer on the ground so early. Kind of been my October curse. I've never been able to get one in October, so couldn't be happier.
Jacob Dye went deep into a bedding area that normally he wouldn't hunt until later in the season. With multiple does at close range, Jacob's Ozonics unit provided enough cover to keep him undetected. Realtree makes 12 different styles of their famous and highly functional Easy Hanger. You can find one that is perfect for holding your bow close at hand, stowing your gear, or positioning a video camera where you can easily capture your hunt. There's even a model that allows you to quickly attach a trail camera to a tree. Low light accuracy requires a sight with bright pins. Fused sights have some of the brightest pins on the market, making it possible to take shots right up to the end of legal shooting time with total confidence. Once you release the string, your roll is complete. Now it is up to the arrow and the broadhead to get the job done. This is no place to take chances on unproven quality. I have been to the Easton plant, and I have seen the pains that they take to assure that every single arrow is perfect. Why trust your whole season to anything less? Though Jacob's hunt took place in the evening, we have historically had our best success hunting bedding areas during the mornings. It is a strategy we have used for years. In fact, back in 2012, Jared Mills killed his biggest bodied buck during a morning hunt in a northern Missouri bedding area.
Well, I'm back here in Missouri. It's the morning of October 30th. Beautiful morning, just calm, crisp, no wind whatsoever. I'm way back in the timber, hoping to catch these deer coming back from the crop fields. So, hopefully it'll be a good morning. Right. That's a legend of a buck right there. That's a buck we call Twinkie. We think he's 10 years old this year. Just absolute giant of a body, biggest body deer I've ever seen. I need to go back and look at the shot. I'm not positive if I might hit him a little back, but he's quartering away pretty good. So, you know, he ran down the hill, and I couldn't hear much after that.
Not to get too far from our season story, this theme of mornings versus evenings is worth more discussion. While bedding areas have proven most productive in the mornings, we have had our best late October evening hunts around feeding areas. In 2011, I shot a great buck during an evening sit on the edge of a bean field, and during that same time, Chad Lathrop shot a giant 8-pointer in northern Missouri.
We just got set up. It's around 4 o'clock, and it's a pretty warm evening here in northern Missouri. We're back here on a plot, and hopefully get the deer in here, attract them to this spot in front of our stand. Let's settle in here tonight. It's going to be a great evening here in northern Missouri. hey guys, I just got to him. Did the recovery. I mean, there's not much to say. He's an awesome deer. Proud as heck of him. Louis did a great job on the camera, and he was one of 3 bucks that we seen, and we grunted him right to the tree. I mean, you guys seen the hunt, it's priceless. Awesome deer.
Frigid Forage Big and Beastie has become one of our go-to food plot products because it is very versatile. It will grow in a wide range of conditions, and there is something in the blend that deer seek out during each part of the season. I originally planted this plot to soybeans, but due to dry conditions they never produced. In early August I drilled Big and Beastie into the beans using the RTP Genesis seeder. Having a tool that provides this level of flexibility is a definite advantage when trying to create the best possible food plots. We love hunting from our redneck blinds because we can shut all the windows and trap our scent inside. This is great for hunting around food plots where deer are likely to come out from all directions, but is also important when hunting areas where the wind swirls. The right underwear is just as important as the right outerwear. Layering is critical to staying warm, and one of the steps that I take every time I go to the tree stand is to put on my Cabela's ECWS thermal underlayer. Keeps you warm even under some of the coldest conditions. This brings us back to the present, late October of 2017. Much like Chad and I did in 2011, Taylor Byers heads out for an afternoon hunt near a prime feeding area. This spot is right on the fringe of the goat's historical range, but there is also another great buck using this same farm, one they have named Nemo.
Well, it's October 28th this evening, and you couldn't ask for better weather. We had a cold front push through on Thursday, and it's about a high of 43 today and falling temps throughout the evening. We decided to come in here after a buck we call Nemo, just an absolute stud, and what we're hoping is to get a buck either coming out here to feed or following a doe. You just never know what they're going to be doing this time of year, but the weather is absolutely awesome, and with a little bit of luck, we're hoping to punch our first tag. Well, we're about to wrap up this hunt. What an awesome evening. We had deer moving like crazy all night. Not a ton of action around us necessarily the entire night, but a lot of the movement was in the CRP next to us, and it was just on fire all evening. It's exactly what we needed to get us pumped up before we go into our vacation. We have a week of work left, and then we have about 16 days where we're just non-stop. So what an awesome hunt tonight.
With 2 weeks of unbroken rut hunting on the schedule, Taylor and Caleb have high hopes of catching up with one of the 4 bucks they are after. Hoyt has been a standard of the bow hunting community for more than a generation. Each year, the company designs bows that are more accurate and more dependable than the year before. Redworks is their most recent offering to carry on this legendary standard. Staying comfortable and hydrated through long, sweaty days requires a class-leading cooler, one that can take the abuse of life in a pickup bed and still hold ice for days. That is why American-made Grizzly coolers go with us on every scouting trip. Sleepless nights spent waiting for daylight only to follow a weak blood trail are a thing of the past with the devastating performance of the new Wasp Jackhammer Broadhead. With its 1 3/4 inch cutting diameter, this head is the perfect combination of destruction and penetration. Nikon offers a wide range of optics for the hunting community. From laser rangefinders to scopes and binoculars, the technology they put into their products has always been cutting edge. We depend on Nikon for non-stop performance regardless of weather or light conditions. Happy November's Eve Day. Should be a national holiday for us deer hunters. I've been waiting 11 months to be able to say that, so we're right back in the heat of the battle again here. This morning, I'm in the same stand that I hunted yesterday evening, and this is the spot where we have the most recent daylight photos of the big 8-pointer, the lone oak buck. And on that last card pull, he had been pretty active in this food plot in the morning. I'm not saying that he does it every day, but at least for a couple of mornings there, when that last cold front came through, he was in this food plot 2 mornings in a row in daylight. So that's why we're here. He's a cool buck. I'd really like to at least see him. Obviously, getting a chance to shoot that deer would be icing on the cake.
For this afternoon's hunt, I'm going to change it up a little bit. This morning I thought we'd go back to the same spot for this afternoon, but I pulled cards from a camera that I had on the time-lapse mode in that little small bean plot that we hunted, 3 weeks ago maybe now. And the lone oak buck, the big 8-pointer, was on that little bean field. Looks like he was feeding a lot, but he was also chasing a few does around down there. Not last night, but the 2 previous evenings in daylight, well before the end of legal shooting time. So hopefully, as he makes his way out of these timbers into that little bean plot, he'll come past that little island of trees. I mowed a path in there back during the summer, maybe early August, I'm thinking mid-August. So hopefully he'll use that path because that comes right past 15 yards of the tree stand. No, you guys stay here. You have to stay here. Good dog.
I don't think I've ever messed up a good spot as bad as I did tonight. The deer were moving so early by the time we got in here. It was probably 3 hours and 15 minutes, 3.5 hours before the end of legal shooting time when we got in here. I'm not sure if I'm going to come back and hunt the spot again or not. I mean, it's exciting to be in a spot where there's this many deer, but you also cause a lot of damage if you start getting busted by those deer. I mean, that's one of the things I always tell people is the high activity areas are exciting to hunt, but you can burn out your hunting spot really fast when you hunt those places if you don't get it perfect, and it's hard to get it perfect.
I may be giving up on this spot, but I'm not giving up on the lone oak buck. He and the wide 10 are my top targets now. As serious as we are about patterning these bucks, hunting offers a lighter side that is never more obvious than when Andy Melton takes to the field during the youth season.
To get in position, we're actually hunting out of the blind. And there's deer in the field up here. I'm gonna go ahead and see if we can get Cooper set up for a shot. Right on her shoulder and squeeze. You dropped her. You got her. You got her, Coop. Hey, give out your first deer. Cooper's first deer.
My back got spooked over. The tail.
Awesome shot. About 90 yards. we're gonna go down here and get set up, get Cooper's deer drug back down here to the bottom of the hill, and get ready and try to get Blake one.
How about this, boys?
Yeah.
Two for two.
You're not going nowhere. Oh god. Oh my gosh.
Fun comes in many forms. Youth hunts are great, but now we crave the feel of adrenaline pulsing through our veins, adrenaline squirted into a heart that beats for November's rut. We made it another year. Tomorrow is November 1st, a magic month that brings with it the promise of all we love about deer hunting. Big-bodied bucks crunching through dry oak leaves, and frosty mornings filled with the sound of the chase. We have made it to the destination, but this is not like most things in life. Getting there is not half the fun. All of the fun starts now. We are finally chasing November.